Cool. Well, thank you very much for coming. I imagine that you're here, maybe not because of my provocative title that I gave the course. I wasn't sure what to call it, and I was messing around with a friend, and I said, "Really, it's just about getting your online shit together." I went, "Oh, that could be the name then." So who knows if that's a good name or not? But that's the one that I went with this time around. But really, what it's all about is getting your personal branding in check and really getting connected to the type of content that you're putting out there, so that they all resonate. Because I really believe and I've always believed this, not just in these COVID times, but leading up to this, is that your personal brand is where it's at, particularly as a small or medium-sized business owner. That's our distinct and clear advantage over the big guys. So that's why I'm so passionate about this topic, and I've been talking about it for many years now, but it's more important and more relevant than ever. So like I said, oh, hey, Karen, you're here. Cool. Oh, there's people waiting, actually. I'll just admit all. We should just did it automatically. Anyway, one day I'll figure out how to use this. Hello to the newcomers. Just coming in. We're just taking off now. So, oh, Susie, I'll let you in too. I just have to keep looking up and checking. Anyway, let's get started, because this is only, I'm going to try and just be really careful and just stick to the 1 hour for the presentation. Just to be really transparent, in the last 5 minutes, I have got an offer, of course, that I will offer at the very end, but I will give you 55 to 60 minutes of just solid content, because that's how I roll. And if you've got any questions, please pop into the chat box. I can already see Janie chatting. Hi, Janie, I know who you are. This is Janie from the Upper Hunter Valley in northern New South Wales, who has been very drought stricken. I watch you on Facebook all the time. Hi, Kerry. Nice to see you here too. And Karen. So thanks for saying hello, guys. Let's get cracking. So let's get cracking. Here we go. So why you're probably here. These are the 3 reasons. And if you've got a different reason, feel free to chat it, put it into the chat box. But I'm guessing that you're struggling knowing how to market right now, because everything's feeling very unsettled. Your clients are unsettled. They could even be different. You might find your clients' needs are completely different and your marketing strategy is just chucked out the window. And maybe the whole online world has been kind of eluding you anyway. And you might be finding that things have drastically changed due to the isolation period, and you find that you've got to get your business online fast. That's happened to a lot of people. And unfortunately, what's happened is that they've paralyzed a little bit. Oh, I'm just letting somebody else into the group. They're in a bit of a state of paralysis by analysis, about how to do it. So I'm really glad you're here, because hopefully I'll try and show you that it's not a difficult process of how to get you online, and not to be intimidated. I think that's the most important thing. That's where people really struggle. They get really, really intimidated. So I want to try and alleviate that. And you want a strategy that's going to help you and your team to stay relevant, because I find that's what's really happening in this time as well. People aren't feeling like what they do anymore is relevant. Like, we've just had a whole lot of businesses and industries told by the government that they're actually they're not essential. So, what a horrific way to feel about your business. So if there's any other reason why you guys are here, please pop it into the chat box. I'd really love to be as interactive as possible. I'll keep you all on mute, like I said, but you chat away in that chat box. I look up from time to time to check if I need to let people in and check who's here and stuff. So, I will answer you as we go. So what I want to put to you is, and I am known for having a very positive attitude, and I am called bright side by my business partner, but what if right now was actually an opportunity to do things better in your business? So you actually were going to get your business completely online. What if, oh, Phil, I'm here to check you out as a presenter. Oh, great. No pressure. I'll get back to my presenting, shall I, Phil? And Janie, thank you very much. Oh, fantastic. I'm getting some feedback. Okay, so Kerry's here. Conferences gone due to social distancing. Yes, that's really important. And so how can you turn that into the online space? I'll try and address that during the talk. And Janie's just said how, if possible, to monetize her emails. That's an interesting one. We might have to have an actual chat about that, because it's obviously about the offers that you put forward. We'll talk about that as we go forward. So, yeah, so getting back to what I was talking about, what if now is actually a really good opportunity to do your business a lot better? Like, diversify your services, like start to monetize a lot of the things that you do, so you've got more income streams, not just the one that you're used to. What if you could actually streamline your systems better? What if you are able to do your staffing differently? People are working remotely now. You don't actually have to have physical premises. The sky's the limit. And what if you can actually get rid of all the crap in your business that doesn't really serve you? This is really quite an opportunity. And I think I talked about it a lot in other webinars I've been doing about this is an opportunity now to be a business leader, not just a business owner. You know, it sounds corny, but it's not corny. And that's the reality is right now, this is a new time to be. And I really believe that having a personal brand that's really strong and solid and takes you through any kind of crisis is definitely an opportunity to make your business bigger, better, stronger. And they're the businesses that are going to move forward in the future. And I'll explain why as we go through. So anyway, our promise to you is we're going to show you how to become the #1 choice in your industry. We're going to transform you and your sales team, if you've got a sales team, to be industry rock stars. And I say that word loosely because different industries, you know, you might not want to be a rock star, but definitely industry leaders. Let's just use rock star though, because it's a bit sexier. That your clients love and trust, because that's what it's all about, and how they can create that connection with you online. And I also want to give you some ideas on having a solid social media and content marketing strategy moving forward. Christy's also just said what she's here for, here to understand what to focus efforts on. Yeah, great. Okay, cool. You're definitely in the right place. Carrie, systems and processes are what I need. Yeah, everyone needs those. I don't talk so, I allude a little bit to that. I don't obviously teach you how to do that, but like it all comes into it. And I think my biggest job, which I'll show you as I come through, is just helping you to believe it's all possible. Because when you believe it's possible, then it is possible. So your promise to me though, for the next hour and moving forward actually, is just to stay really open and just explore the possibilities. Because I know when I start talking about personal brand, people can get kind of weirded out and they get very self-conscious and they feel like it's not for them, it's for other people. They're not that kind of person. They don't want to share their behind the scenes. They don't want to get personal. So please, just for the next hour at the very, very, very least, can we just try and stay really kind of in the moment and really accept what's being said as real and just explore the notion. Stay curious, as they say in the personal development world. Stay curious so you can actually like get more and absorb more learnings. And remove the word I can't from your vocabulary. Because again, when I sort of say to you, you've got to do video, more video, the first word that comes out of a lot of business owners' mouth is, I can't do that. Well, actually, please just stay open and stay curious and explore the notion, well, what if you could? Because that's where you're going to get the great learning today anyway. And that's where you're going to get the results coming forward in your personal branding and your marketing. And then the third thing I want you to promise is that you accept that as a business leader, you will need to do things differently to how you've always done things, and you're cool with that. So if you're brave enough to accept that, just say yes in the chat box. That would be so cool. That would really help me out. And then it's just like affirming in your head that you're really, really open to the process. Oh, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I like that you guys interact online. That's really cool. Lots and lots of yeses and an absolutely and a yes, yes, yes. Cool. Thanks guys. I really appreciate it. So yeah, keep chatting in here because I really, really do like the interaction. It keeps me going because it's really weird just speaking to your little green dot above your screen. So keep chatting with me up there. I keep checking and it, you know, it makes, you're a rock star. Thanks, Kerry. You are too. Oh, God. So this is me. Some of you know me, and I like doing webinars with people that I know because we can have a bit of a joke and a laugh with each other, but I still give you the information. But anyone that knows me, and hopefully by the end of this, you get what my values are. And I'm going to suggest that perhaps some of these are your values too. My values are very much around inspiration, creativity, passion, connection, trust and respect, and loyalty. And these are the things that I really, really do in my business. And this is what I try to project in my marketing all the time. And it's incredibly important that you know what your values are because that's a massive part of building your personal brand. Now, people kind of go, oh, yeah, values, did that 5 years ago. Yeah, cool, got that. But I really suggest that you check in with what your values are from time to time because they do change. And Elaine, I'm just checking her comment from Elaine. I don't feel confident to put my face on video. Let's keep chatting. And then towards the end, I'll ask you that same question because this is what this is all about, is when you become really centered with your values and what you're all about and your truth, and you're really, really in your zone and you are authentically being who you are meant to be, and you've got your client's best interests at heart, it is a lot easier to shoot video because you're feeling way more focused and you feel very directional about what you're doing. You're very, very on purpose. So that's why it's incredibly important to tune back in with what your values are from time to time. And, yearly, 6 monthly, like particularly we've just gone through like this massive, massive change in our entire world and our being. Maybe your values have changed. Maybe the value of certainty has become a lot more important to you, So that is definitely probably something that's become more important to your target audience. So I'll talk about that more as we go through, but really understanding who you are and understanding who your target audience is key to building a personal brand, because it's one thing, don't ever confuse a personal brand with just communicating to people and just communicating lots and lots and lots of content. A really good solid personal brand is actually being like a trusted advisor, a friend, a confidant, somebody that your audience, we'll call them, really trusts and feels like they know. And it's like creating a friend online. And you can only do that when you really hone what your values are, what your purpose is, what your brand promise is, and then communicate that, and your why. You know, that is so important, and really communicating that out front exactly to your audience what that is. So I talk about these guys a lot. These are my boys, and I always call them my boys, but as you can see, they're kind of young men. This was taken a week before we actually went into isolation. We went down to my mum and dad's country town for her 70th birthday, and thankfully we were able to have a party 1 week before the isolation. And these are my very reason for doing everything. And I am a big believer in sharing your reason why you do everything. And it could be a charity that you work for. It could be here they are, gorgeous. Thank you, Janie. You know, whatever it is that inspires you and motivates you and gives you, you know, the fire in your belly. You know, it could be a project that you're working on, people that you're helping, an organization, you know, a charitable thing, anything that it is, your family. You know, lead from the heart of what it is, and don't be afraid to share it. That's how you really build and resonate a brand that resonates with other people. So you're just trying to say to people, this is me, this is who I am, I'm really comfortable in my skin. And if you resonate with that, let's be friends online. And while we're here, I've got services that I can help you with. And that's kind of how I believe sales and marketing moving forward is going to be. It's about leading first with giving and sharing and letting people really feel and resonate with you, and decide if you're the kind of person they want to do business with. And we need to do this in an online way, because we can't just go to networking events anymore. We can't just go to a workshop, can't go to a conference, can't have a stand at an expo. You know, I've got clients that have lost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of leads because they can't go to expos anymore. You know, they did weekly expos. So online is where it's at. And this is the kind of interaction that we need to be creating, is this personal interaction with people, because this is if you're doing sales really well or marketing really well when you're one-to-one with people in a scenario like at an expo or something, you actually are talking about these very things, about what fires you up, what, you know, where you went on holidays, your family, your pet dog, whatever it is. And these are the kind of, that's why these conversations online are still important, but done in the right way. So you can't all be just about your family, but for some people it is. So, you know, you'll always attract, if you're being really authentic and honest about who you are, you will attract the right people to you. And so just so you know, I have two agencies, Heretic Creative Agency and Divine Creative Agency. And I also have my online course, which I'll talk about at the end, which is Connection Marketing, which I launched last November. I have a very exciting work life, like I used to before I was trapped indoors all the time. We do lots of video shoots and photo shoots, and we're out, you know, with clients. These are some actors we were working with and a makeup artist, and my business partner James is a videographer, and myself. I've got a couple of graphic designers that work with me, some web developers, photographers, copywriters. Like it is very fun and very exciting what we do most of the time. But what we're really good at and what we're skilled at, and I just arm myself with the perfect people around me, is creating these amazing rockstar brands. So, you know, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very passionate, and it's what I'm born to do. I've been doing it for 25 years, 20 years in my own business, and it is definitely what I've been born to do. So this is Connection Marketing, the course that I put together. And this is a really important point. So what business owners forget, and I see this a lot with most business owners when I go in and do one-to-one consultations with them, is that humans, we're just humans. We crave human connection. We're actually programmed that way. And if you ever want to have proof of that, Dr. David Eagleman has an amazing series online, and it's all about the human brain. And he has one whole episode all about connection. And we are hardwired physically to connect with other humans from birth. And there's documentation from pretty sad stories from orphanages. I think something like 40% of the babies in the actual orphanage in Romania, not that long ago, probably only 40 years ago, 40% of the kids, of the babies died. They were fed, they were kept kind of clean, but they weren't really having that human interaction, the cuddle time, and just the breath and being around people. They didn't have that. And so they perished. They literally perished because they didn't have human connection. And this is from babies. And this, you know, we're stunted if we go through life and we don't have that human connection. So my point of this very sad story is that it's in our DNA to connect with other humans. And that's often what the missing piece is when people put together their sales and marketing content and whatever they're putting together. What was his name? Carolyn. Dr. David Eagleman, like the bird, Eagleman. Yeah, and Carolyn, yeah, you're a massage person. So Carolyn's just said her massage business has taken off at the moment. Very, very true. Like people are, you know, that physical connection. There'll be people out there that don't have it, you know, now, and massage is one way to get it. So, you know, fantastic share. Thank you. So, as I said, connection is the missing piece. And this is what we establish a personal brand for, because something that a company brand can't really create anywhere near as well as what a personal brand can create is that human to human connection. So when you have a company, they'll find people in the organization, hopefully, to do that for them. But us as business owners, and most people on the call today there's a handful of you that are marketing managers, which is very nice of you to see you here. So you'd be adapting these same principles with the main principles in your organization. But for the people here that are just business owners and you might have a small team, it's all about you being out front of your company and creating an amazing personal brand if you really want to do this properly. You don't have to. I'm not saying to you that your business will perish if you don't, because there are businesses that survive that don't do this, but they're often based on price points, or they've got different offerings, and they're often not companies that are fun to deal with, you know. So if you think about your own interactions with companies, do you talk about the company as a collective, or do you talk about the individuals in the company as to who lit you up and who inspired you to keep going back and doing business with them? And I guarantee you it's the people. So why aren't we using the people then in our marketing at the front of what we do and what we put out? It makes sense, doesn't it? So sorry, I'm just getting some latecomers coming in. Hello to you there. We're just halfway through the presentation, so we'll just keep going. So why a personal brand? I've already sort of like leapt ahead and started talking about why a personal brand. But the reason why we have a personal brand is because exactly what I've been saying. People trust people. They don't trust brands. They don't talk about their favorite brands. They often, some people do. Some people get logos of their favorite brands. But generally what I'm talking about with the kind of service offerings that most of us normal humans have when we don't have billion-dollar marketing budgets behind us, we've got our best asset, which is us. And our clients have a relationship with us, the people in your company, the people that are customer facing. And then that experience in turn becomes the brand. And here's a really interesting stat that I got recently, that on average, your sales team, or you, if you do the sales, you will have 10 times more engaged followers than your company does on social media. So, and I know this to be a fact, and I'll go through a personal story of how connection marketing actually came to be. And you can actually like use this in your mind and sort of think about your own business and your own way of pushing forward. So many years ago, I started working with a company in the camper trailer caravan industry, which is like a bit of an exploding industry. And they were, you know, it's all very much a very masculine industry. It's all a lot of men, you know, are salesmen. And this group of blokes here, a whole bunch of salesmen. In the middle is my late husband, Steve, who was their sales rep for them. And he was their number one sales rep. And the reason why he was the number one sales rep is that we worked on his personal brand. We escalated him above everybody else in the entire industry, in the entire country, because we actually recognized, and kind of by accident, but we've just recognized the value of putting him forward, because Facebook was only new at the time. So we started talking about him in the camping world, showing family photos of us camping, telling stories about campsites where, you know, he wanted to go to, where he liked. And then he got actually put onto, he was very fortunate. His company would send him out to make DVDs. So we would go out and they would make their own sort of like YouTube channel, little short DVDs, and put them into magazines and do their own. And there's all sorts of scope for this. Like this was done on a large scale production. As you can see, the company started to invest some serious money into it because it worked so well. This is kind of like the third one that they did. But, you know, there's a lot of companies out there doing it now that are just doing it just themselves. So it's all about creating the opportunities that you see in your industry and creating entertainment for your audience. So that's kind of what they did with the caravan world, because it was the lifestyle industry. So they started creating all these DVDs and marketing material based around lifestyle and showing these guys out of their, the showroom scenario, and actually showing them with their families out and about camping and practicing what they preach and documenting this and sharing this online. And it went ballistic. And because Steve did it the most, his profile went ballistic. And so whenever he put up a post, his post would get, at least 10 times the traction of what the company did. So that even though the company had, back when he was still doing it, I think they had 250,000 followers. They'd put up a post and they'd be lucky to get 20 likes or, a little bit of conversation. If he put up the same sort of post, he'd get 100 to 200 likes and conversation, and then people in the showroom the next day. So it really was all about, my head, just as a marketer, my head exploded. I'm going, what is this? We've got this big multi-million dollar company versus this one bloke, their brand, and they're pumping all this money into their Facebook. They've got 250,000 odd people on their page. And here's Steve, he had about 2,500, and he's getting all this traction and all this momentum. And it was because he was something real and tangible that people really resonated with and wanted to see more of, and communicated with, trusted, believed in, really felt his authenticity in his what he was saying. So this is an example of the caravan and camping industry. This could be for anybody's industry. It's just the way that you frame it and you give people the kind of entertainment information, but interesting information that helps them. So these were like research and development trips. So I won't go too much into detail, but you can see here, this is one trip that we did before he passed away. It was a year before then. We went up the Kimberley and we did this incredible trip up there. And what that did for the profile of the company, it's years of marketing that they have here with this one DVD that they put together. And people still talk about it. And then when they go to shows and they're in the showroom, people come up to them and they sign autographs. They are literally industry rock stars. And there is no reason why you can't develop that kind of profile for yourself if you wish. Now, I will be very transparent and say, yes, this company did put some serious money behind it, but there is that much technology out there these days, and with some imagination and with the right messaging, you can get similar results, because I see people doing it all the time, and I will talk about them as we go through. So this is just some stats just to really prove the point, is that sales rep who use social media outsell 78% of their peers. When I'm saying the word sales rep, that also is business owner. 7 leads developed through a salesperson's social media activities convert 7 times more frequently. And this is really important. 76% of sales decisions are based on reputation and trust. And I really like this. 92% of people trust recommendations from an individual versus 33% trusting the company message. So I'm hoping you're getting the gist of just how important a personal brand is. And yet I still see so many people hiding behind the company message, hiding behind the company logo, staying behind their products and not stepping out from it and being at the forefront and being the vehicle that sells the products and sells the services. And this, I thought it was a very interesting stat too, which just further proves how much personal branding, how important it is. 82% of customers trust a company when the business owner is on social media. How many of you guys, I think most of you guys are on social media, aren't you? I'll give you this. I do actually have the sources on the last one, Janie. I love how your brain works. I have to go backwards. I don't have it written on there. I'll actually put it into... I will let you know, because I actually do have the sources, because I do get asked that quite frequently. I think I've got it on one of the other slides, the sources, where I've got this from. So how many of you guys actually have got social media profiles that you are working quite consistently, personally, for your brand, for your company? So you've got a company page, yes, but you've also got a personal brand that you're working nice and hard. Good to see. Good to see. I like your honesty. Have it badly managed. Because I would suggest to you that most of you would definitely be able to do it more consistently and way more. Oh, okay. There was a long one there. I'll have to read that one a bit later. Some people have resisted. Yep. don't spend enough time on it. That's really, really common. No Facebook or Instagram yet. Working on it. Good to see. I promise to lift my game, Karen. I talk to you a lot now, Karen, so yes, you will have to lift your game. And Andy, yet not at this point. Yeah, so I'm actually working with Andy's companies. I'm so glad you're on here because we're actually going to be lifting the profile of all of the people in your organization to get them on LinkedIn because they're in that professional services space. Very, very important to know the platform that you should be on. But you definitely should be interacting with your audience daily, personally. You can also have the company line. You can create content from the company and then share it across to your personal page and then with a personal message. You really, really need to be communicating daily and in a personal way if you really want to get some serious traction with other humans because they're just wanting connection, particularly at this time. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but I know this with a lot of my clients, they're traumatized. They're literally traumatized. I had one client that had to put off 250 casual staff. Like, it is traumatic, and really, really, we need to be very empathetic with the material that we're putting out right now, and that's very important as well with your messaging that you put out, and what I talked about before with your values. You know, we have to reevaluate it with the environment around us as well. So your job, this is probably the most important slide. Very, very, very important slide. Your job as the business leader is to empower your audience to believe what you do. So they need to believe that what you offer them changes their life for the better. Doesn't matter what you're selling, what service you have, what your product is. They need to believe that what it is really, really will work for them. And then the next thing they need to believe is that they can actually, it's possible for them. So yeah, they can believe it, but you know, even with what I'm talking to you about with the connection marketing, I bet you a lot of you are probably thinking in your head, oh, that's fine, but you know, I don't have the time, or I don't have the budget, or you know, there's beliefs in there that, and so part of my job during this next hour is to help you believe that it's actually possible and to show you ways and talk you through stories. So this is the key to your marketing. When you're putting your marketing together, is you could be putting out the best content and the best information, but if you're not actually getting the end person who's receiving that information to really believe it's for them and it's possible, then it's a wasted and missed opportunity. So that's, I believe, where your personal brand can really cut through, because when you start coming from a personal place and you're talking about values and your why and your messaging is really on par and you're really talking to the right target audience, not just like that blanket scattergun approach, you really do get that traction and you really cut through a whole lot of heartache. And that alone will empower you to do more with your marketing because you actually feel like it's working, which is super duper cool when you get to that point, you know, like, because it really is a confidence game, isn't it? With your brand, with your marketing and your business, it's a confidence game. You know, if you feel a bit shaky and your clients don't believe in what you do, you know, it's hard to get out there and try and find more. So we'll keep talking on to this point. I want to tell a quick story. Some of you have already heard this one, so I will go quickly on it. But this is a client of ours who has bucket loads of self-belief. His name is Steve Sid. He created his own whole genre. When we met him, Steve was, I've known Steve for years, but when we started working with him 18 months ago, he had one family restaurant. He was very, very good. He was award winning. So, you know, he's no slouch. He had one family restaurant and he had won some major awards, and he knew that everything was lame about what he did, and he was playing small time. He just knew that in him. He really wanted to play a big game, but he knew that his branding and marketing wasn't working, and he knew he had to develop a personal brand. So we helped him work on that, and I've got some slides of that later on. But his growth from doing that, in the past 18 months, he's grown from one restaurant to 19 dining concepts, 22 event spaces, and he's got 250 casual staff. Well, he did until he had to lay them all off. But that's the circumstance of the environment. He's been able to keep his key staff on, and he's now working in the consulting space. In this period, he was able to pivot incredibly fast because of this incredible growth. People have watched him, and he's created a whole industry for himself. He calls himself a hospitality entrepreneur, which, you know, isn't really a common phrase, but that's what he came up with, and that's how he branded himself. And people, because of his fast growth, because of what he was doing online, and he was just a normal Joe, he was just online, but he was incredibly personal, showing all the day-to-day activities of his restaurant and how it ran and his team, and really sharing a lot of his growth strategies online. And the traction that he gained, and just because he already had a good reputation, it just took off because he believed in himself and just told people about what he was doing and communicated this consistently and daily. The traction and the growth, people sought him out. So he has restaurants in clubs. So he was getting contact from clubs to come and tender for them. And sometimes he wasn't even tendering against anybody. He was just on his own because he created this incredible brand around himself as a hospitality entrepreneur. And he had some really clear, good messages that were very unique. No one else is doing what he was doing. He's not a celebrity chef that waits for other people to back them with their money. He backs himself with his own money, and he's very successful at what he does. And that's his growth, and they're the legit figures. So, and this comes from, I've got testimonials, video testimonials from him on my website where he accredits most of this growth to being able to amplify his message and have the confidence to be able to project his success out there and to let people know about it. And that's a personal brand. That's what personal branding is. And he did it in a way that was sharing and giving information at the same time. So he wasn't giving away the full box and dice. You know, he was inspiring just as much as he was giving. You know, he was sharing and giving people insight. He was giving them hope. He was giving them tips. He was giving them, you know, he's in good physical shape. He gives them exercise tips. You know, he really is absolutely living and breathing the hospitality entrepreneur mindset. And people are so attracted and appealed to that. You know, he's even now in this isolation period, he's still tendering on more restaurants for when it's over and he can get back up and going. So this is the power of it if you believe in it and you have the confidence. And I've got to say this, when we went out there for the first time to shoot a video with Steve, he froze. He was not comfortable. He was incredibly stilted, and I had to really coach him through it. But he did what I asked you guys to promise at the beginning, was he just trusted me. And I just said, just stay open, just believe in the process, just go with this and believe what happens. And he'd sort of seen my late husband's growth online as well. And he said, yep, I trust you, I believe you, let's do it. And thank God he did, because it was like a confidence injection. He turned into a madman after that. Anyway, I'll keep going because I'm conscious of the time and there's a lot that I want to get through. But it's incredibly important that you do get personal with your marketing, because in 71% of people, it triggers an emotional response with them. And we all know when people get emotional, that it creates loyalty and likability. That's what people want to see when they see you. They just want to like you. And so here's some examples of how you can be personal. Is great ways of doing it. You can share behind the scenes of everything that you're doing. And you can see some photos that I've got of us on the left. This is what we used to do with Steve's brand. Was he would go out on camping trips, and they'd sort of show behind the scenes of a DVD shoot, you know, with them all together. And some of these guys are major stars in the industry, you know, showing behind the scenes, and people eat this stuff up. Like, people love to see it. So if you've got some industry contacts or people that are high profile, use that to your advantage. Put that all over your website, put that all over social media, like piggyback off people if you can. Make it a win-win. Grow your reach and grow your connection with people through other people. That's an incredibly important way to explode your personal brand quickly, is by being around other people that have really good audiences, you know, with a similar target to who you're pitching to. So the whole thing about being personal is that you cut through all the other business owners or sales reps or, you know, service providers, whatever it is that you're doing. If they're staying behind the company line and they're saying all the right things and they're imparting all the right information, and you're all lined up in a row, and somebody's got to pick your services. Say you're a business coach and you're up against two other really good business coaches. You're all great. You're all good at what you do. All get really good results. You've all got different sort of techniques, but you're all kind of similar. You're all priced the same way. What do you think is the deciding factor for them, anybody in any industry, to choose you? It's if they like you or not. And it doesn't mean that you're funny, or it doesn't mean that you're, you know, just a big barrel of laughs. It's that they just resonate with who you are and they get you. And I really want to be clear on this too, is that a lot of people are nervous about shooting video or shooting or getting personal in their content, because they're really scared what people will think of them. They're scared that people won't like them. And I can guarantee you that in my marketing, there are tons of people that probably don't like me. Yeah, thanks, Kerry. It's so true. It's very true. There are people that don't like me. There are probably people that think that I'm a bit too casual or a bit skitty or a bit relaxed. They might not like that I sort of insinuated the word shit in my last lot of marketing. They might not like that I've got tattoos. They might like me because I do have tattoos. Karen, no, I do. But my point being is people will like you and they won't like you. But what we want to do is we want someone to at least have an opinion about you. Like, we don't want people to just be like, who's that chick from that design agency? Oh, I can't remember her. That's terrible if you're not even memorable. It's not about standing out for the sake of standing out. It's just about being truthful. Oh, you weren't relying to the I can't believe they wouldn't like you. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for reiterating that. Yeah, but everyone's got a different style, and it's really important. So that's why you have to be who you are. And I guarantee you, and I've seen these results through the course. We had some people come through the course back in November, and one girl in particular, she said once she really got her head around who she was in her business, she's got a really lovely store called Dairy Free Store. She said she used to go to barbecues and things, and she'd say, it's an online business, so she sells like lactose-free products and stuff, and products to vegans. She said she'd go to a barbecue and they'd go, oh, what do you do, Kelly? And she'd be like, oh, I'm an administration assistant. She wouldn't even tell people she had a business. She was too shy and timid about it. And then when she got really connected to who she was, what her message was, who she helped, and she just stood behind it really proud. And then she got instant traction, instant responses from social media. It instantly just turned on something and injected into people. Now she's like the most confident person about her business. It's tripled in revenue. She now goes to a barbecue and she's telling people all about her business, and she's really excited by it and rejuvenated by it. And it's because she worked on her personal brand, but her personal self-belief. And that's what it's all intrinsically linked. So getting back to what I'm talking about is it's really important that you get out on other platforms whilst you're being personal. So if you can get onto people's podcasts as a guest host, or onto a radio show, maybe a webinar, you can do a webinar with somebody else, or if there's a whole lot of online seminars at the moment where they're looking for other guests. Have your own blog, or be in somebody else's blog or vlog, or be in video. It's so important just to be out there and amplifying your message in many ways as you possibly can. But it's incredibly important that you're authentic while you're doing this. Otherwise, the whole thing, it won't work. So keeping moving. Why do you need to create content? There's 4 main things that I came up with. Evidence to prove what you say about yourself. So, these are your case studies and the stories and the success of what you do. Engagement, because people just want to be entertained, particularly now while we're all at home and online. Trust, you want to build up trust. That's incredibly important, particularly online. And what I said before about, you really need to try and get across to people that it's possible. The solution that you have for them, whatever it is, whether it's a product or whether it's a service, it's possible for them. It's not just something that other people do and are nice to have. It's actually possible for them. And content is so gold because it actually builds relationships. So gone are the days of interruption marketing, which is like your traditional advertising, where you just put an ad in the leader, or that's my local newspaper, an ad in the paper, or an ad in a magazine or on TV. You now have to create information because that's what people want, and it's more authentic. And yes, it takes more time, but it's worth it, because particularly if you, and I'll have a slide coming up about how to repurpose content. If you're repurposing your content, so it's going out to as many other platforms as possible, you might be doing some PR. Like I did a blog very recently, a very personal blog, which got a lot of traction just in my audience, which was about choosing joy after grief. And it's a really personal topic, but it's really, really shows a lot about, me as an operator and who I am. And so I'll be actually creating that video and that article into more articles that will go out, and putting that across a whole wide range of different platforms to get reach, and then pull them back to my connection marketing course. So, or my website, my personal Melissa J. Scott website. And that's the other thing too, guys, is that you don't just have to have a company website. If you're really serious about your personal brand, and this won't be for all of you, but for some of you listening on, you would even consider having your own personal website as well, particularly if you're in the consulting space or in the service providing space. You really want to see yourself as a speaker and a presenter. Now, Kerry's just asked a question. Facebook Lives, that was a brilliant video. I shared it for some that really needed it. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and look, Facebook Live is one of my favorite mediums. One of my main, I'm jumping around a bit, but one of my main reasons why Facebook Live is so fantastic, and just by a show of yeses, who's doing Facebook Lives? Is anybody brave enough to say if they are or they aren't? Because a lot of people are about to do one after this. Fantastic, it's good. Jacqueline, not. Who's doing, oh, Carrie's, oh, she's terrified. Don't be terrified, they're so good. Phil, no. Phil, you should so be doing Facebook Lives, my God. Isn't that interesting? So a Facebook Live, thank you, Elaine, for asking, is when you go into Facebook and you actually, there's a little, I can't even remember, it's in the bottom right-hand corner, you go live and you basically put your video, either your phone or sometimes you do it on your laptop, and, oh, okay, some of you haven't heard of it. All right, okay, you know what? I should never assume that you all know what it is. It is basically where you put, you go into your Facebook platform. I do it through my Melissa J. Scott company page, and then I go live, and then I will present and talk live, and it's streamed live. So it's not pre-prepared, it's not pre-done. I haven't had to load it up. I haven't had to do anything. I just literally have like a note, something like that. I don't even know what's on there. With a couple of bullet points, I put it there and I basically speak to it, and I just like, a couple of bullet points to keep me on track. And then I chat, and then people, if they're browsing around on Facebook as well at the same time, will stop and stay live on your personal page or business page. I do both, but I do it on my business page normally, but I've changed my business page, Nathan, actually to my personal name, because I'm getting so much traction with people coming to Melissa J. Scott. I think I call it, can't remember what it is, something like branding expert, connection marketing, something like that. I can't even remember, but I've got it quite, and that's, people resonate with that more than with Divine Creative Agency. So I changed the name to my personal name. But maybe for you, Nathan, you wouldn't do that because you're being an accountant, but you might, depending on how much you really want to be the rock star of your industry. If you want to be a rock star accountant, maybe you will change your Facebook page. You will get, I've seen Nathan's done a few lives. They get, you totally want to be a rock star. I know you, of course you do. And you're not going to be a rock star hiding behind your company line. Nathan's we'll use you as an example. You're an accountant. If you go with the message in a Facebook Live where you're talking about, we just do tax compliance and we help people get the best tax results, I've heard it all before. And that's what every single accountant is saying. So how does that differentiate you from anybody else? But whereas if you come online and go, hey, I'm Nathan, I am this kind of an accountant, I specialize in this, here's a story. Let me tell you a story about a client that I helped yesterday. And then you go into the story and you pull it back to your services of how you help them. And you don't obviously give away who the client is. The more stories you tell and the more that you share, particularly if you're an accountant and you come across as the nice guy that you are. And I've talked to Nathan about this, really nice bloke. And he comes across and puts that energy across. Who isn't going to, when they're, time comes and they're not liking their accountant, or their accountant hasn't answered their phone call for the 15th time, or their accountant just isn't personal, doesn't know anything about their business, doesn't seem personally invested, who isn't going to remember that Nathan guy that they see on Facebook Lives all the time, who tells stories every week about clients that he's helped and charities that he works with, and, industry associations that he's involved with, and really positive stories, and introduces you to his staff and gives you running tips. It really, really is. Can you see from this example? And thank you very much, Nathan, for letting me share you. This is how it works, guys. This is what I'm talking about, being a personal brand versus being a company hiding behind the company line. Sorry, I'm just muting. Somebody new just came in, so just muting. Tell you what, I'm getting very organised at these Zoom calls. Janie, I'm in a professional services industry and I have very personal website. Changing my book page to be my brand page will be consistent with everything else digitally. Yeah, cool. How often should you do Facebook Lives? As often as you want to do it. So during this COVID time, I was doing them daily. And you communicate with your audience and you let them know that you're coming on to do it. It's really important that you have your audience there so that they can interact with you and ask questions in live time. That's what I was trying to say before to the people that weren't sure what a Facebook Live was. So that's the difference between having, Lane, so should I have a Facebook page and a website? Oh, yes. Let me keep moving through these slides. I'm doing what I do all the time. We've talked about building trust, incredibly important. I've sort of touched on this, but it's incredibly important that you understand why people are searching online. They're online because they've got a problem. Yes, people are bored at the moment too, but they've still got problems and issues and things that they need solved. Generally, whenever I go online, it's because I need to find something out. So they're Googling, they're going to social media, they're asking their friends, who can help me with this? And then they stumble across you, somebody refers you, or they come across you, they come across your Facebook Live or your Facebook page or something, or an ad or something that you've put up. And then they need to see that you're addressing their fears, their frustrations, their desires, their concerns, and you're presenting how you solve the problems. But you have to lead first with actually what their problems are so they even understand, because a lot of people might not even know that your solution is the answer to their problems. So it's incredibly important that we do this in a way that's not just selling and flogging a product, it's communicating and helping and giving them real life solutions that helps them in the long run. So, okie dokie. Oh gosh, okay. I use StreamYard and love scheduling them every week, 3 sessions. Beautiful. Thank you for that. And people read the chats as well. People have got some really great information there. I really, really appreciate that. Cool. So this is basically for the who asked me about, I think it was Elaine, asked me about should you have a website and a Facebook page. So basically you have your website. That is the hub of all of the activities of what you do. Your website is what you control. And then as you can see from this diagram, and I'll actually send you guys out, I'll email you a copy of all these because I get that this is really tiny writing. But this is actually like an A3 poster and I'll send it to you so you can have a look at it and refer back to this. These are all the things that you do in your marketing that point back to your website and that you control. And so basically, if you think about it, let's see, I'm going to jump ahead. This actually explains it really well. Is you can see here in the left-hand side, the social media, Google traffic, remarketing, you've got your traffic. So that's your social media pages, people. So they'll come to your page and on Facebook, say you did a live video. We'll just use that example because we've been talking about that. They come to your page and then they interact with you and they sort of feel you and they get you and they think you're really cool. And then right at the end of it, you might have a lead magnet. For me, my lead magnet was I'm having a webinar. And so you go, very interested in that. So you'll click on that, then you'll go to the landing page and then you sign up for the webinar. And then basically what happened is then you come to the webinar and I get your email address, which is what the opt-in is called. So you've given me your email address. And so now, lucky you go into my email marketing funnel. So you come to the webinar, I'll pitch to you at the very end of this, some kind of, promo if I ever got one. And then you're now also landed into my email marketing thing. So over the next week or 2 or 3, you'll just get some really friendly, helpful advice from me via email. And then maybe by the 3rd or 4th email, Janie, will you be sharing all of your slides? Yes. Now I'll share all the slides. I always do that. I'm happy as Larry to, you can have photos of my boys if you want. Yeah. So basically it's all about, you can send out, as many emails as you want. It's got to be relevant to what you're doing. But it's very important that you're not selling straight off the get-go because people are still trying to warm up to you. They don't even know yet if they like you, but hopefully if they've been on a webinar with you, they do know that they like you. But if they've only just had a quick snapshot of you, they don't know if they like you. So you can't just come in with a hard sell. You come in with giving them really helpful information in a really kind and nurturing way in some kind of sequence that adds value to what they're doing. Now I'll just head backwards because we skipped over some important slides, but I just wanted to show you that to put it into perspective for you. And I'm conscious of the time. I'm running really over time. So I hope you guys have got a little bit of extra 5 or 10 minutes, I hope. So 80% of your website traffic in the world is video. And I know that just during this COVID time, apparently the video downloads were up by something like 60%. People downloading videos or streaming video and watching even more. So that 80% might even have gone up to 90%. Who knows? if you didn't think that video wasn't important to your business, I think you're really misguided. And I would challenge anybody, pop it in the box if you want to, but I don't think there's an industry where video wouldn't help you, because video is all about, it's basically, and I'll show you the stats here so you can read these while I talk to you. When watching a video, viewers retain 95% of the video's message compared to only 10% when reading text. So it's just like somebody will watch this rerun of this webinar as a video and they will still get an incredibly good sense of who I am. They'll feel like they're sitting in the room with us and watching me jump backwards and forwards and answer questions and come back to the point, give the stories, and they'll make a quick decision if they like me or not. They'll make a quick decision if they trust me. And if they trust me, they'll stay in the loop. They'll accept my emails and then eventually might even do business with me one day. If they don't like me, they'll switch off. And that's totally cool. It's very important when you're building your personal brand that you accept that not everyone's going to love you. Because when you get past that, then you can just settle into being who you are, being really chill about it. And there's some awesome, wonderful statistics here. I don't think I need to convince you, like video is where it's at. It's really important that you're doing it. I was going to give you a fun analogy of why I like Facebook Lives. I like Facebook Lives because you don't have to do all the hard work of building all the video, putting it together, setting everything up, and then shooting it, editing it, and uploading it. Oh my God, putting titles to it. It's just there and it's done. So it's, there's still a very important place for pre-made videos, and like we make videos in our business. It's incredibly important, but everything has a place. And it's just really important that you're doing all of the above if it sits comfortably with you. But there's something authentic about Facebook Lives that work really well. And I'm working with a Facebook ads manager at the moment, which is starting to do some ads for my business and some other clients' businesses. And the stats are even with Facebook ads, the rawer the video, the more successful, because people just believe it. And here's some stats on email marketing versus social media. People spend a lot of time on social media and forget that your main role is still to get people across to your website. And so you do that with a really good call to action. So I have to fly through some of these slides because I don't want to miss out on giving you guys all of the good content. But I just want to point out, email is not dead. Email is incredibly important. It's still, and here's, you asked before, Janie, about stats. I've actually got them down the bottom of here where I've got all these stats from. And you can check these out if you like. Email is 40 times more effective at acquiring new customers than Facebook or Twitter. So basically what happens is social media, like I showed you with this diagram, social media is kind of where people go, where they're hanging out, and that's where all the traffic is. So you get the traffic, you pull them in with the lead magnet, with the offer, and then they come to the landing page. They either like it or not. They hand over their email address to you. That's the deal. And then they get they get whatever it was that they kind of like opted in for. It could be an ebook. It could be a video series, a free online course. It could be a webinar. Could be a 30-minute consultation. And then they come across and then they're in your email marketing nurturing sequence. And that's where all the magic happens typically. And that's how you grow your audience. So this cycle is incredibly important for you to understand. And this is for any product. So it's really important that you just sort of be thinking of your industry and think, well, how can I adapt this? And I'll show you a real life example. And I'm showing you with this example because if you're on Facebook a lot, and I love Facebook, it's full of beautiful women, selling a lot of things. So I just wanted to show, this is a dude, and he's got a very reputable company. I read down in his stats, back in 2014, he was the 9th fastest growing company in Australia. And he wrote the book, Key Person of Influence, Glenn Carlson. And I think he wrote it. Anyway, I know that's what his whole business is based on anyway. He is marketing, if you notice, under his Glenn Carlson name to get people basically. So that's how they come. On the left-hand side is the ad. That's where the traffic is developed. Yes, he did write it. Thanks, Kerry. Yeah, you probably know him. Yeah. I assumed he wrote it because he was promoting it, but you can never assume anything. And it is a good book. I've read the book. So he's got, really good content, very motivating and uplifting. I quite like his content. That attracted and appealed to me. You click on the ad, then up at the top right there, that's the landing page that I went to. So he's got a video there, which, with 3 minutes of information. Then you can opt in if you want to and give up your email address to register or not register. And then I just wanted to, and then you're in the cycle, the funnel. But this could be done for any product online. It could be a sample of what you do. It could be you're selling a product online, it could be recipes, or it could be anything that's the lead magnet, that's the free thing that they get. And then they're in the cycle. It's incredibly important that you understand that with online, there's a clear-cut cycle to it. And it's not just hey, I've got something, do you want to buy it? It's very much a nurturing cycle, because you want people for the long haul, not the short haul. And this is Michelle Bridges. I just wanted to show you her. I was going to tell you a really lovely long story about her, but I'm not going to because of the time, because I actually promised, I just wanted to point out to you, if you guys, I don't know, 15 years ago, there was a show called The Biggest Loser. If you're as old as me, you'll remember it. And she was one of the key trainers on there, and she did incredible things with her personal brand after there, which none of the other guys seem to have had the same traction. But once upon a time, she was just an aerobics instructor with a very big dream and a very big vision to impact globally. At least, I don't know if she's global, she's certainly, you know, in the Pacific region. And look at all the stuff she does now. She's in supermarkets all around Australia with food products, kitchenware. She's got 16 books. She's a keynote speaker. She's got her staple 12-week body transformation program. She has a clothing range. This chick has done all of this off her own back, off her own brand. And I've heard her speak numerous times, and she has a really wonderful story. If you want to check her out, read about her story. She was just an aerobics instructor. I think she came from the Gold Coast or somewhere and drove to Sydney in her car and just started with the bare basics. She's not a privileged person. She just started out and she used The Biggest Loser as her platform. So it's all about finding platforms with big audiences to get yourself onto, and really using yourself and your unique and interesting story. So this is all about content repurposing, which is a beautiful infographic I will share with you, but I'm going to keep flying through because I want to share this. I want to look at the brands basically of the people in the group that I said I was going to focus on 2 brands quickly and just tell a quick story. The reason why we're doing this, the reason why I'm spending so much time talking about why we're doing content, is because you want engaged customers, and you get that from content. You don't get that from ads. So an engaged customer is going to buy 90% more frequently from your brand. They're going to spend 60% more dollars per transaction, and they're 5 times more likely the only brand that you will be the only brand they'll purchase from in the future. This is why you want to keep creating really engaging, interesting, entertaining, heartfelt, helpful information and content. This is why you do it. It might feel like it's a pain, and I want to go back actually to this slide because it is important. I do this in my business now. Actually, I will talk about it quickly if you've got the time. Is everybody cool if we go a little bit over time? Does anybody have to go? Just let me know in the chat box. If you have to go, that's cool, but I will keep going because it is really important if you're happy to keep listening. Okay, no one's coming back to me, so you must be all cool. Okay, cool. This is really important, the content repurposing. You have a hard deadline, so need to leave soon. Yep, I'll try and get this go. Megan's got to go. That's okay. Awesome. That's cool, Megan. We work together anyway, so I'll give you the rest of the drum. So I've got a podcast that I put out that I mentioned before, which was the video, which was about the finding joy after grief. I created that as a video, and from that long form, so I just did that. I didn't script it. I just did that to camera. I then gave it to my marketing intern, and this is where you save time, is you need an assistant, somebody who's not that expensive, but they will help you put this together. So all of the intelligence around this was mine. we've got all these templates and things, so the graphics are all put together for it. And from that video, we took out the tech, the verbal stuff. So that created the podcast. So I've got the video up on my channel. I've got the podcast now into my podcast audience. We create smaller videos, like you can see. I wrote a really nice blog to go with it. I sent that out in my newsletter, so it gets out to people. And then if I ever have a guest on my podcast, which I often do, that goes out to their audience. So that's how I get out to other platforms. But then I share it across LinkedIn. It becomes an article. I put it on my Facebook, my Instagram. I'm not on Twitter, but if I was, I would share it on there. And I'd put a little bit of behind the scenes in the stories and Facebook and Instagram stories. If I wanted to, I could create an ebook all about my experience, because it would be actually pretty interesting to do that. And then there's other things you can do, an opt-in giveaway or infographics. But can you see that from this one long form video that I did, we created all of this other content, and it was possible. And we do this every week. And it was possible because I have an intern that helps me. And Christy just said, my marketing VAs are so good to do all this. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Martin. Yeah, sorry you have to go. That's cool. And that's about the engagement. This is why we do it. So I'm going to rip ahead to basically quickly talking about two of the people that are on this call and what they can do with their personal brands. So Jane, hello there. Just really quickly, so Jane is a beautiful woman. She has got the most gorgeous product, and she's just trying to find traction in the market. But as you can imagine, she's got these beautiful handbags and leather pouches, and they're really well made. You know, it's got a really good story about the product, but like most people, she leads through her business through her product. So basically what we were talking about recently on a call is that she also has an incredibly interesting personal story, which is kind of hidden at the back of her website somewhere, really small and kind of only glanced over really in a tiny, tiny way. And she says, at a time of a great loss in my life, I had a choice. Use it as an opportunity for growth and change, or just give up. There is so many stories that you probably could create around that for your target audience that would be so incredibly interesting, which would then lead them to finding out about you and your business, and then in turn your products, and to feeling way more connected to you personally, Jane. And it's incredibly important that you flip the way you do your marketing, that it's not just all about the product, because yes, it is about the product, you're selling a product, but you drag people in with your story. You don't even drag them, you entice people in with your story, because it's interesting, and it's your story is what differentiates you from everybody else. So this is what my suggestions are. I'm going to go over them quickly because I really want to keep moving through and be conscious of time. Tell your unique story. Thank you, Janie. You're welcome. Grow a community. On Facebook right now, there are some incredible opportunities to create groups. And I've got a friend who is in the jewelry business. She's got a beautiful select piece of jewelry that she has, and she sells a lot of her stuff into her groups, and she has a target audience that she does styling videos for every week, and she puts out 2 videos a week, and she's created this entire community, and she sells her product in every single color imaginable to this particular audience, and they share it, and they've expanded, and they have parties, and they sell her product for her. And she's done all this through Facebook and having communities and selling the business through her and her personal brand. So she leads with her personal brand first and her products second. So that's why I'm suggesting if you have some inspirational blogs and some video content, you talk about your story, and you maybe talk to other women about their stories too that might be similar, that resonate. People will stop and pay attention to that big time, and then get on other platforms. So I'll keep moving. So, but we've talked about that before, Jane, but so my main point for you is you have a beautiful product, and your website is, you're getting more content on there, but to get people, to get them and to get the traction there, you've got to lead with something more than just the product. You're the story, and how it relates back to how developing the product and how it saved you. It's incredibly important that we understand with this is what you can do with your personal branding to reach more people, then show them the product. Same with Nicole. Nicole is an interior and landscape designer. Lovely lady. I met you last week, virtually, of course. Same sort of thing. She's got does beautiful landscape designs, but when you go to her website, it's all about, you can see that your passion actually lies in the Indian trips, going off to a design tour of India, and your whole website led with that. But it was just it was like reams and reams and reams and reams of this content, all about the trip, and nothing about Nikki. And Nikki is engaging and articulate and clever and smart, and I'm sure has got an incredibly great personal story, but none of it's there. I dug this little bit out towards the bottom of this epic long page, and it was there. So it was really lovely to see that it's there. But I just think my suggestion to Nikki is tell your unique story way up towards the top of your website, and also on social media. That's where you need to be telling your story. And yes, you're going to be doing this tour to India, and yes, you do these things with the landscape design. And I've been doing a lot. I know there's a lot of landscape designers on the call right now because I've been working in the industry associations. And I said last week to these guys is that all of their websites lead with their product first. So there's all these beautiful gardens there, but no one's really telling the story about the impact, about what actually these gardens do for the families and what they give back to the families, all the communities or the associations that they do this work for. The heartfelt stuff, the connection stuff, the things that light people up. Because like I said to you before, when you're all lined up against each other, there'd be other groups that people have been going to India for. They could go to their travel agent back when we're allowed to go there, and just go to India. But so why you? Why choose you? And that's because of you, Nikki. So we need to tell that story right at the very, very top. And it takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of guts to do that, and this guys can be applied to any of your businesses. So it's not just about these two individuals, it's male and females. Tell the story first and then show the product, then show the service. Once you've built the rapport and established there actually is a need for what these people have. So be inspiring. You could have some great strategic alliances with other people that probably have people that can lead in, that have the right target audience for you. Look for other business owners, because collaboration is where it's all at. And if you have got 2 or 3 or 4 really powerful personal brands all collaborating with each other, you are going to get some massive traction and some really wide reach, because that's what you want. You just want to throw that net really wide. You want to know exactly who you're talking to with your target audience, but you need to throw that net really wide. And Facebook groups as well are incredibly important for you to get into and start. You can be in them and be chatting and helping people in them, but have your own as well, and lots of video content. So I hope that was helpful. And just going back to Steve, we were talking to him. This is my hospitality entrepreneur client. This was his company page that we did for him, and it worked really well for him. But you can see that he felt the need to go and get his own personal branded page, which is incredibly important for him and the development of his business, because he sees himself as moving forward. And that's what's happening now, is all these restaurants have just been closed down because of the government. He hasn't skipped a beat. He's now consulting. He has this website. He has traction. He has people that know who he is. He's created his own brand, which is Hospitality Entrepreneur, and away he goes. He's got his finger in this pie, and he'll be working on this now. And as soon as the restaurants can reopen again, they reopen, staff are rehired, back into business again. So this is what a personal brand buys you. It buys you choice. It buys you opportunities. It just gives you stability, I guess. Stability. And when something comes at you, like this COVID thing has come at you, that you have a pivot already set up in place, that you've got your company, yes, and you've got yourself as a personality, and you might need to go turn to consulting or something of a more personal nature, when this happens. There's so many businesses and industries out there affected. So this is the whole point of what I've been talking about today, is that this is connection marketing to a T. It's desire, it's connection, it's trust, it's credibility and value. You establish all of these things, and then that equals a customer. And you can establish this far more easily with a personal brand than if you were to be trying to do all this from behind, the comfortable place, the cold place of just a product or a service or a company. This is the individual can relate so much better, human to human connection with the customers, rather than trying to do it probably from the traditional way that we've always been taught to do it. And so your homework, because there'd be no point of coming here for the whole period of time if you just walk away and go, oh, that was really nice. Yeah, I'll do a Facebook Live. Like, I really, really want you to look at this long and hard. I'm going to send all these out to you this afternoon. If this resonated with you, go back over it. Look at how you can triple your current communication with your current clients and potential customers. Look at that infographic that I showed you with the website at the center and all the things around it. Pick 3 platforms that you're going to pump and work on now. And start thinking about how your personal brand is going to look. Because if you're earning under $1 million, 80% of your time, and when I say earning, your revenue, 80% of your time should still be in sales and marketing. A lot of business coaches that I work with have said that if you're under that $1 million threshold mark, your job is, whatever it is that you think you are, your job is actually head sales and marketing person, because that's the only way you're going to grow, and then you can employ people to start doing a lot of these roles. And now this is the bit where I pitch my product to you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. Ask questions, because I'll hang around and answer the questions, but just really quickly, if you're interested, I'd really love you to go and check out my online course. There's two ways you can work with me. You can work with me through the online course, or you can work with me face-to-face, because I do this for companies all the time, and I've loved having some of my clients on the course. So cool. And my clients are actually going to go through the course. We started on Monday, and it's running through a lot of what you've seen today, but like doing it in a much more structured way rather than me just like, randomly going at it. It's 8 modules. It's really cool, obviously. The first module is all about doing like a bit of a deep dive into the strategy of what it is that you are. I'll go to this one. It's all about who you are, what you do, what lights you up, your target audience. We get really finite on that, and then creating a really cool action plan and a strategy that you can actually follow. And remember I told you the story about Kelly with Dairy Free Store, actually getting connected to your business so you have the confidence to put this content together. This is where the gold is. And I didn't even realize how important it was until the first intake of people went through the course. So I actually threw in a bonus mini course to go in with it. There's 2 areas that people are really struggling with, I find, is you can do the course, you can do all the content, learn all the social media, I can tell you all the platforms, you can do everything. But if you don't have the confidence to get in front of a camera and actually create video, or have the confidence to actually go to a barbecue or go online or do your social media posts and just talk to people about your story and what it is that you do and really resonate with people. These are the mini courses that I put together. So I am not any kind of personal development guru, but I'm just talking to you guys about, and this is coming out in 2 weeks. I talk to you guys about what I do for me and my clients and what's helped them and how we got through it, how we get the confidence, how we build the confidence as we go. And then I also show you guys, really important, how to actually make video from where to go, from beginning of conceptualizing it, writing the copy, getting confident, delivering it, how to put it all together, and then how to edit it and then load it and launch it. But going back to the rest of the course is, we do content creation, which is really important. I talk a lot about your website. I know a lot of people don't they gloss over about their websites these days. It's still the most important part of your online marketing strategy because that's where everybody lands. And I definitely talk to you about how to do the sales funnels, but keeping it really simple, how to have really cool, sexy call to actions that people kind of want, that are manageable. I don't want you to go out there and have to buy tons of expensive software. Just do it now with the software that you have, and we'll create it and build it and just grow together. But probably one of the best things about the course is that we go through it together. So it starts on Monday, and there's a Facebook community, and we're only small because I only started back in November. So I've got a handful of clients in there now that I work with, plus people that bought into the course last time, plus some of the new people coming in now. And so every Monday I come in live and we do like a session like this, and you get to talk. It's done actually through Facebook Live, and you can ask all the questions you want. I also give you, let me go through. I give you a 1-hour strategy call during the course as well, where we talk one-to-one specifically about your business. So you have me, you can ask me a million questions, and then we can just like fine tune exactly it is what you need to be doing in your business. And then at the end of it, if you complete the course, because a lot of people don't complete courses, I'll give you another 1-hour strategy about what next, how to get going after that. So, and in return, I just ask for a testimonial. So that's a really great way for me to build my business and my brand online too, because this course it's like 20 years of passion gone into it and a whole lot of experience, what I've done for clients. And it's what I'm passionate about. Like, I still have my agencies. I'll always have my agencies because that's kind of like where I test all of this stuff. And the course is really where I put it all together. So no hard sell. It is a $9.99 one-off payment if you want to do that. I have a very cool offer though, which I must tell you about. It's a 2-for-1 deal. So basically, thanks Carolyn, 2-for-1 deal where if you have a friend that wants to come into the course with you, you buy into the course and then I'll give you a login for the second friend, and then you can just get the half payment or whatever you guys negotiate. So I'll have that going for the next, and they'll get their own login so that they can come into the Facebook group as well. That is only lasting till Sunday night at midnight. Otherwise, it just goes back up to its normal price. And if you are a little bit concerned about spending money right now, which is really cool, a lot of people feel this way, it's 12 monthly payments of $99 a month. So normally I would do those payments over 6 months, but because of the whole COVID thing and people are a little bit worried about money, I'm extending it to 12 months. So $100, $99 a month to be in the course, and it's lifetime value. So if you're not sure, you're sitting on the fence, you want to do it, you're worried about money or something, you can do a 30-minute chat with me this afternoon or tomorrow. I know it's a Saturday, but I'm cool to do that. Let me know. You can email me, info@divinecreative.com.au. I'll be sending you guys an email this Arvo anyway, so you can just reply to that. And we can have a chat and see if the course is for you, or if you want to just have a chat about your business and where you're at, that's really cool too. Thank you, Susie. Susie's actually one of my people in the course, and she's amazing, and she's actually going to be revisiting the course and coming back into it. Thank you, Phil. You're a great presenter. Okay, so that's enough of me doing the sell. Does anybody have any questions that you'd like me to answer? I think a few people have gone that had the questions before. If you've got any questions, I'll hang around. You're most welcome to leave now if you want to, you know, I won't get offended. It's so nice that so many of you just hang around for like 15 minutes. It's so cool. Don't forget to tell everyone that 30-minute consult is free. Thank you, Nikki. 30-minute consult is free. Yeah. I can do it either this afternoon or tomorrow. And I just feel like we've got to do it fast, straight off the bat. Otherwise, we just kind of lose momentum. I've chatted with a few people already on the webinars today. It is a good deal. It's a super good deal. The course is sensational, and I think for a lot of people, it's going to be a game changer. So if you guys, how do you sign up for the course? You go to, yeah, that would be good if I told you that, www.connectionmarketing.online. Go to that website, and then there's up the top in the navigation, it says join, and go to join, and it's all in there, how you sign up. I will send you guys a copy of this webinar after I get off the call. It'll record, I'll save it up to YouTube, and then I will send an email to you guys. Thank you. Thank you guys. I'll send you this special offer in an email, plus with a copy of the webinar. Happy to hang around if anybody else has got any more questions. Just people saying thank you. You're very welcome. Very nice. You're a very nice audience. Beautiful. No questions? I can wrap it up then if you like. You got me now. I'm happy. I'm seriously happy. If you've got a question pertinent to your business, happy to chat to you, because there's still a few of you here. So, Melissa, are there the 3 platforms you recommend? Thank you. Good question. Wow. There's the, I actually think it's really important that you are on, it's really, really important that you are on platforms that you enjoy, because you going to spend a lot of time on there. So for me, I don't like LinkedIn. I'm just going to be really honest now. Okay, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Insta. Funny you say that. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Insta. Guess which one I don't like? I don't like LinkedIn. I find it weird. I am a chatty, friendly person. I find Facebook and Insta really enjoyable. Facebook the most for me, and it's just personal. I'm on LinkedIn because 86, I know this stat, 86% of all business they reckon that is done online is on LinkedIn, and my clients are business people, but I still find I have better traction on Facebook because of my style and my personality. So sometimes you're just the exception to the rule, and I follow a lot of people online, and I find they find Facebook really good too. It just depends what your style is and who your audience is and where they hang out. YouTube is really big and successful for some people too. You know, it's really important. TikTok is exploding. You know, if you've got a younger demographic, TikTok is really, really important. Beautiful. Okay, I've got some questions coming in. But yeah, so Hamish, just whatever platforms you actually feel comfortable on is a really good place to start. I actually have a friend who's on Twitter, and she's on there a lot. You know, if you're really in that if you're a real speaker and in that kind of scene, like that could be a really good place for you to be too. But if you're on Facebook, really look into Facebook groups. And we talk about that in the course. I do a module on that, where how a lot of people are growing online businesses, particularly if you've got an online course that you're interested in doing, and that is a whole other kettle of fish. A lot of people are growing their businesses through their Facebook groups, and that's because you get people into the group and they're really personal and targeted, and they're really, really into what you do, and then they can get in there and they share a lot more. So when you're on somebody's page, and you think about your own habits, when you're on somebody's page, you're just it's their page and you're conscious of that, so you're not going to really interact. But when you're in a group, somebody feels like they're in that group, they're part of that group, they feel like it's theirs too, so they get personal in there. That's an amazing place to create wonderful connections and have good conversations. So yeah, Facebook groups would be my big tip for everybody. Angela, it's been fabulous. Looking forward to signing up. Oh, I'm looking forward to having you in the group. That'd be great. Thank you. Amber, thank you. You've given me a lot to think about. I have a bit more work to do before I sign up. And you know what? And that can be true too. I totally get that. Like, you know, now might not be the time. This is a super good deal and my price is only going up and it is lifetime membership. So it's up to you. Sometimes you got to leap, you know, you just got to take the jump. It just depends really what's for you. I'm not going to push anybody into anything because I believe there's so many, I really have an abundant mindset and I really hope I bring that across. There's people out there for everybody, particularly, and in your industry too. You just need to find them. And when you really connect to who you are as a business owner and you really connect to your services and your product, you will attract the right people to you to do the business with you that need to do the business, because it's an energetic thing. It just works. It's magnificent. Angela, also I work on Mondays. What time during the day do you do your course? So the course comes out, I haven't explained it very well. The course comes out in a whole series of different video learning. So you can do the course however you like to do it. It's all done in video. So you can do it at midnight if you want to do it, whatever day suits you. You can do it all. You can take a week off and just sit down and do the whole course in 1 week if you're really into it. Or you can stagger it over week by week by week, which is what I recommend you do to do it properly. And then every Monday, I just come into the Facebook group and that's when we have like a wrap up of the week and you can ask me the questions and the things that you really struggled with. So, and that worked really well. And you can message me and stuff during it, you know, email me, or when we have our 1 hour consultation. I recommend that you maybe do it for a couple of weeks and then we have the 1 hour consultation. So then you actually got some stuff to talk about really from the course already. And that'll be a really good high value 1 hour. And just as a guide, like when I do this course one-to-one with a client, I'll charge $5,000 for the strategy session. So, and that's like a day and a half to 2 days they'll get me for half a day and then I go away and do this strategy for them. I'll spend a day and a half on it and I'll charge $5,000 for that. So basically you're getting all of the same information for $1,000, but then you're also getting all of the information on how to create the content, which is they don't get. So the course is the bomb, it really is. Nathan, are there some social media platforms that work better for a professional like myself? Yeah, hopefully I just answered the question, Nathan, about LinkedIn is typically going to be better, but it just depends on your personality. I know your personality, Nathan. I think you'll do really well on Facebook because Nathan is the accountant I was talking about before, the really, really friendly and personal. So if all the accountants are hanging out on LinkedIn, wouldn't you think you'd be smarter to hang out on Facebook? Because that's where your audience is hanging out. They're just real people. So you don't talk to them about boring stuff. You talk to them about stories that impact them. And that's how you get the traction. So I hope that answers it. Susie, if anyone's considering the course, FYI, I am already a member. I love you, Susie. And the course content is amazing. I had to take time out during the selling at home, but getting back into it now. So Susie is exactly right. She's coming back in on Monday and sort of like coming back in with the second wave. Because she's a lifetime member, it doesn't matter, you know. So she ended up selling a house in the middle of it. We also had some people from the South Coast region badly affected by bushfires, so they had to stop as well. But they're picking back up again on Monday as well. So, you know, that's the lifetime value thing. I don't believe in closing it off. And as I update content, they just benefit from it as well. They don't have to buy anything else. Elaine, thank you so much. Beautiful. Angela, fabulous. Thanks for inspiration. Hamish, can I attend without Facebook? Yeah, no, because it's a Facebook group. So if you're a bit not enjoying Facebook, you've got two choices. You don't have to come into the group, but you'd be missing out on that whole interaction, that Monday thing. So you could just get a profile and only be just really good and just come in basically to the group and then just kill it at the end of the 8 weeks when the course is over. If you like, it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you that you have to join Facebook. It is a great way to interact. But, you know, some people don't want to be on Facebook. I just find it's the easiest way to get the information across because I'm constantly, thanks, Andrew. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, look, that's cool, Andrew. If you have any questions, Andrew's a client of mine as well. You get access to me all the time. So, yeah. Are there any other questions, guys? Because I sort of still see quite a lot of you here, which is really nice. Yeah, you're most welcome to go. I won't be offended. I'm just answering. Thanks, Jane. I won't be offended. You may go. I'm just hanging your ear. Cool. Yeah, you may leave. You're all so beautiful and polite. I'm just answering questions, so it's cool. If there's no more questions, I will go though. I really have appreciated getting to know you all and recognizing some of you from past times when I did the 30-minute consult. So I will send out the emails and you guys can let me know if you wanted to have another chat about whether you want to do the 30-minute consult or if you want to become part of the group or not, or if you just want to become a client, you know, whatever. It's all good. We'll be friends. You'll be in my email nurturing sequence. Don't worry. So, you know, and you can learn from me basically. Oh, right, that's how it works. Cool. And then you can do that yourself in your own businesses. So I'm going to go. Have an awesome day, guys, unless you've got questions. It has been fun. It's always fun.